Alright, so in this video I'm going to be showing you an introduction to designing with Canva. So basically all the tips and tricks you know to really get started using Canva. Now, if you're someone who's been using Canva to design for a long time and you already feel really comfortable using it, you can definitely skip this video if you want. Personally, I've been designing with Canva for years and they add so many new tools all the time that I find I'm always learning something new. So if you want to stick around, you might still learn something even if you're already familiar with Canva. So starting with the basics, if you have never had a Canva account and you go to create one, this is what the page is going to look like. You're going to click the sign up button and continue with one of these to create your account. Now, once you've created your account, this is what your homepage is going to look like on Canva. So a few things to note is up here in the top right-hand corner is a create a design button. So that's basically where you're going to be going to create any design that you're going to be making. So you're just going to click the button, and from here you're going to pick the size of what your design is. So whether that's in inches or in pixels. If it's a specific thing, like say you know that what you're creating is going to be a letter size document, you can type that in and it'll come right up, or you can just pick that size already made for you. Otherwise, you can also click custom size and then manually enter the dimensions you want, either in inches or pixels, to start your project. Now, another thing is there's a search bar here, and you can use that to search through either Canva's templates, or you can also search your own projects, because after you've been using Canva for a while, you can get a pretty big list of projects, so it can be really helpful to use the search to find them quickly. And down here you'll also see these are Canva templates. So a really important thing to take note of when it comes to Canva templates is they do have templates for a lot of the types of digital products that you may be creating, but we want to make sure that we are never using a Canva template when we're creating a product that we're going to sell. So you can definitely use Canva templates, like say if you wanted to create a planner that you're going to use personally, then that's totally fine. You can also, if you're going to create a Pinterest pin to promote your product on Etsy, you can use a Canva template for that. That's fine. But if it's an actual product you're going to be selling, a digital product you're going to be selling, whether that's a planner, bookmarks, Pinterest pin, anything like that, you cannot use their templates to start with. So always make sure that you're starting with a blank canvas whenever you're designing a product that you're going to be selling. So down here you can scroll down and see your recent designs are right here. Just for the example in this video, I'm going to go ahead and click on this one right here, which is just a photo I made to go with my course. So I'm going to show you kind of just the basics here of what you need to know. So when you start in a project, you will normally have a blank canvas that is totally white. So when you start with something like this, you can look here, and first thing you'll see is this top toolbar. And when you haven't clicked on anything or you don't have anything on the page, then the toolbar will just be giving you specific options for the page itself. So there are add a page. You can click this button to add a whole brand new page. This one is delete a page. And this one is duplicate a page. So that would be instead of adding a new blank page, you would be duplicating the page you're working on exactly as is. So those are all for the page itself. Now, if you have some elements on your page already, then when you click on the element itself, you're going to see the options on that same toolbar, but for the element rather than the page. So some of the options for this element are obviously we can change the colors. If we click up here, we can change the colors. And you can edit the image here, crop, flip. This info button is a really helpful one because if you find an image in Canva that you really like, you can click on this and either view more by the same creator, or you can see more similar images like this. So Those are both really helpful. You can also star it to add it to your favorites or add it to a folder. You can see any keywords that are used for that image and whether it's a free or pro element or not. So all of that's really helpful. You can also click the animate button to animate images. So then now when we are clicked on the image, over here on the right hand side we'll have the position option, which is to move things forward or backward on the page. We can also align things like, say, to the top or the bottom or the middle of the page, left, right, or center. And over here we have transparency, so we can make it more transparent or not. Now, there's also options to add links or to lock elements, so we can get into some more of that a little bit later on. Another good thing to note is that the undo and redo buttons are right here. So if you change something and you want it to be back the way it was, that's super helpful. Those things are a lifesaver. So I'm going to show you now what's over here in this sidebar. So templates are obviously at the top, and you can see there are a lot of different templates for this size document. Like I said, make sure that you're never using templates when you're creating a product you're going to sell. So going down from there, we have elements, and in elements are where you can find graphics and photos, different kind of things like that that you want to add to your projects. So you can see here we have recently used, lines and shapes, graphics, stickers, photos, videos, audio, charts, tables, frames, grids. There's really a huge amount of things to check out in this section. So going down to uploads, this is where you can upload your own files. So if you click upload files, you can select one off of your computer and then add it to your project. Down here we have text, so that's just adding heading, subheading, body text, just adding those into your project. Now projects is just the same thing that we saw on the last of the home page, so just different projects that you have on your Canva account. Photos is just all photos. So you can also find photos in Elements tab, so they'll be in the Elements tab and the Photos tab as well. Just in the Photos tab, there are no like graphics, grids, things like that. In Elements, it kind of has everything in one. So if you go down to styles, this is where you can pick from color palettes, and it will automatically apply to your document with just click of a button. So that's kind of a handy one. You can also use some of their pre-made palettes, and those are just helpful if you kind of need some inspiration for your colors. Going down here, we have backgrounds. So again, all of these are also in the Elements tab, but if you're specifically just wanting to look at backgrounds, you can come down here and search for them. So purchases, where you would find items that are pro elements that you've purchased. So if you are a free user, you will notice, let's see if I can find some. So some of these items in the elements, you'll see say pro, right? They have a little crown and they say pro. So that means that if you're a free user, you can't use those elements without paying for them individually. If you're a pro user, you can. But yeah, something good to keep in mind. And that's another benefit of being a pro user, is you have access to some of these elements, which can be helpful for certain things. So that kind of gives you a basic idea of what we have going on in this sidebar. So I'm just going to give a little demo really quick of an example of how I would create this page right here, just so you can see how you would actually put something like this together. So starting with a blank canvas, I would click on the background and I wanted to change the color. So I'm going to go right here. Down here you have your brand color, your brand colors, any color palettes that you have added, which is also a Canva Pro feature only. So if you don't have Canva Pro, I don't think you can add your own color palettes, but you can see what colors are in this document, or you can go here and enter any color code that you want. Another really helpful tool is you can pick a color from your design. So you can just click this little tool right here and then go grab a color from literally anywhere on the page, and then it'll make your background that color. So, okay, so after I have my background color done, I want to add an element, which is this keyboard right here, this laptop right here. So I'm going to come over to Elements, and I'm going to search for computer and see what comes up. So we obviously have graphics, photos, videos, all of that, but I'm going to look for graphics because I want something, not necessarily a real picture, but there we go. So this is the one I used, and click the button and it just pops right over here. So then I can move it around wherever I want. I can click this button to make it bigger or smaller. I can click this button to rotate it if I want. And then down here are the duplicate, delete, and more buttons. So these are just copy, paste, duplicate, delete, animate, make a comment, a link, things like that. So that's how all the things you can do with your element. Now, for this one, I wanted to make it a little more appropriate for my brand colors. So I can just kind of go down here, pick some of my brand colors really quick, and until I find a design I like. So there we go. Now, after that, I wanted to add some text to my picture. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the text box over here. And I just clicked add a heading and it popped my text in right here. So I'm going to go ahead and type in what I want. And I just double clicked on the text box to start typing. And text works the same way as the elements do, like the computer did, where you can drag it to make it bigger. You can rotate it if you'd like. And with text, you can also change the width like that. So there we go. I'm going to put it like that and make it a little bit bigger. You can also change the size up here instead if you'd rather, pick a specific size. You can click here to change your font color, and you can click right here to pick your font. And you can also upload your own fonts if you'd like to do that. You can, for certain text, make them italic, or italic, bold, underline, all uppercase. You can click this button to change the alignment, so left, right, center aligned. You can make your text a bullet list here if you'd like. And then with this button, you can change the letter spacing and the line spacing, which can be really helpful too. Sometimes you want to make a little more customization. Now, one of my favorite things to do with text is the effects box. So you click effects, you'll get this entire list of things that you can add to your text. So if you want to add a shadow, and you can do a lift, hollow text, splice text, and you can see with each of these options, you can totally customize how they look as well. And I think that it's a really great way to make your text stand out rather than just looking so flat and kind of boring on the page. So for this one, you can see here, I did a background. So if I go to my effect and click background, you can see here I've got my background, and I can click the color and change my background if I want it to be a different color. So I'm going to go with that for right now. And I can also change the transparency of the background, the roundness if I want it to be a little more round, and the spread, all of that. So I'm going to leave it like this for right now. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Now, something you might notice in this version that I had created is that there's also a shadow on the text that you can see here. So that is a really good chance for me to show you about how to layer. So what I did to create that effect was I just clicked on the text I already had, and then I duplicated that text. I dragged it up to where it would be right on top of the last text, You can tell by the line, so you can see the line across it telling me that it's centered on top of the other one. Then I went up to Effects, and instead of a background, I changed it to a shadow. And I always like to lower it a little bit so it's not so extreme. And there we go. So now, if you look, my text with the shadow is on top of my text with the background. So I can actually click the position button and move it backwards. And then you can see there's my text with no shadow but a background. And then if I move that backwards, my text with the shadow is on top. So it kind of gives me both the effects at once, where I can have a background and a shadow. And layering is a really important tool to keep in mind whenever you're using Canva to create, because that's something you're going to be using a lot. So whenever you click on any element on your page, you're just going to click position and then either go backwards or forwards to change what layer it's on. Okay, so one other thing I want to show you really quick is if you're going to add a photo, any photo to your project, you can go up here, you can crop your image, flip your image, but you can go up to edit your image and you can change anything, the brightness, contrast, whatever you want to make it. There's also filters. You can add shadows. You can also use a background remover if you have Canva Pro. It's a really helpful tool for Canva Pro users. So these are all really great things that you can do with images if you're adding images to your project. Now, once you're all done creating the project that you wanted to make, you're going to click up here at the share button. And you're going to click download, and then you're going to pick the file type that you want to download as. So you can download it as a JPEG, PNG, PDF, SVG, a video, all those different options. So you'll pick the one that is best for your digital product, and you'll select how many pages, which pages you want to download, and then you will download from there. One last thing too is, if you click up here, there is the file button, and that is where you can name your digital file, change your digital file in different ways. There's also a resize option. If you are a Canva Pro user, you can resize with just one click, which is helpful to saving you time when you're creating a lot of digital products. So, all right, that is our intro to the basics of using Canva. The previous video was actually a preview into some of the content that's available in my online course, Digital Product Side Hustle. In the course, I teach you my exact process for creating digital products that bring me passive income every day on Etsy. Students in the course also get a done-for-you list of digital product ideas that are already bestsellers on Etsy, as well as commercial-use digital product templates that you can use to sell and start making money right away. The link to the course will be in the description box below if you want to check it out. And if you want to see more Canva tutorials like this one, make sure to hit like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.